Thank you for coming in voluntarily, Miss Barrett.
Of course, officers.
That's
I'm
what God
happy
would
to help
want me
with
to
your
do.
investigation.
I don't know why I'm trying to turn her into a Jesus cultist. And I'm aware all Christians are not that way. It's just, she mentioned God like 6 times in her...
And bless her soul.
Uh-huh. So I'm just thinking
I know,
like...
but her tits are hanging out. Now, I'm not saying that's...
Fertility for Jesus, Ashley. Go forth and multiply.
Oh,
Be
God.
prosperous. So says the book.
I'm not saying you can't be a Christian and live your best life. That's not a problem I have, but there are people in that faith that do have a problem with it, is all I'm saying.
And we call them
To be
prudes.
honest with you, I'm uncomfortable with her appearance. She's trashy.
Oh.
She wears that nurse's uniform more like a stripper than a
What?
caregiver.
You say with your boobs
However,
hanging out, lady.
Dad seems to think she does a good job, and Mary approved of her.
Then why the fuck does it bother you?
Mm-hmm.
No, of course not. Mary had already
Yeah,
passed
that's
by
a
the time
lie.
I got here.
So here's the thing. You're full of shit.
Well, what if she grabbed it like weeks ago? But no, it was a new bag. Yeah, duh.
That thing gets switched out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant today. I did change her morphine when it ran out during my visit last week.
That's...
That bag would
That's
have
not
lasted
the same
until
bag.
last week.
Well, it's one of those... In theory, it sounds like something which could be a good thing, but in practice, what scares me is the opportunity for abuse. Kids offing their grandparents in order to inherit the money to buy a new cell phone? No, I'm opposed to
What?
it.
People aren't killing their grandparents for a new phone.
So here's the other thing about that comment.
What?
She was at the protest.
Yeah. So it's like,
So
girl,
like...
can I hit her with that? No.
No.
Even though the family's resources are available to me, I have tried very hard to remain self-reliant. Truthfully, my only indulgence is using the family plane to fly back and forth for my Sunday visits. This is my first time flying commercially. It was more frustrating than I'd expected. It took about 4
All
hours
these
in
pores
actual
standing
travel time to
around.
get to Vegas. I mean, I could have
So
just
she
as easily
said
driven
she's claiming
here.
it took 4
But
hours to fly.
You don't really need to hear about any of this, right? Sorry.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
What? I don't remember what the time of death was on the...
The time of death was around 10:30. So she left L.A. at 4 in the morning to get to Vegas.
At 7.
To be there at 7:30.
I mean, but we still can't prove she didn't leave
Right.
earlier than just bum around until 7.
It's one of those.
All right, so we don't have the evidence to slap her in the face
theory,
with the
it
lie
sounds
she's
like something
making
which
here.
could be a
So
good thing,
I mean,
but
we
in
already know she
practice,
did it. I think
what
that's
scares
what the
me is
warrant is going to
opportunity
say
for
once
abuse.
we...
Kids offing
can
their
use
grandparents
it.
in order to inherit the money
She
to
looks
buy a
so
new
mad.
cell phone? No, I'm opposed to it.
I know. I really wish I could just throw it in her face right now. All right. He
You
said
s-
he'd call when the autopsy was done, though, right? Well, what the hell
Yeah.
else is there to do?
we can go back to the crime scenes. There's still shit to find somehow.
Maybe the brother's there?
I just realized it said chalet. It's a...
Yeah, it's their family home.
Can we check the button now? Something with that green button. Just can't put my detective finger on it. Sir, put your gloves back on. No.
It's like, oh.
Since she was being really shitty about the hospice nurse, maybe we can ask her something about that.
Yeah, like, what's your relationship with
Nurse
stepsister?
Lou, we have something else we'd like to ask you.
Do we?
Yes?
Fuck.
Mother. I'm sorry, ma'am. I keep wasting your time. I
Hey,
apologize.
so...
Did you leave anything over here?
Fingerprints?
Yeah, where's your damn fingerprints? I don't know what else to do.
Oh, wait. Her fingerprints are in APHIS because she was at the protest. So we do need to slap her in the face with that. That's how we know who she is.
So, I know that. It just wasn't saying that was... Okay.
Thank you for coming in voluntarily, Miss Barrett.
I've been waiting here for 2 hours. Where'd you go? In and out. You know how it is. Takes us 4 hours to get there, right?
I'm so sorry we're making y'all watch
It's one
this
of those.
bullshit
In
again.
theory, it sounds like something.
I'm gonna
which
just keep
could
making
be a
jokes the
good
whole time.
thing, but in practice, what scares me is the
Ob-
opportunity for
obviously.
abuse.
I really enjoy the
Kids
idea of
offering
like,
their
we'll be right
grandparents
back. We just drive
in order
around
to
for 2
inherit the
fucking
money to
hours
buy
for
a
no
new
reason.
cell phone.
Oh God! Yeah, right.
Miss
Oh
Barrett,
shit! Grrr! Like
are you
just
aware that your
jerk the
fingerprints
wheel to
were
the left.
Because you were arrested 6 months ago for a death with dignity demonstration in
So yeah,
Carson City?
I wish I could
I did that
chalk
thing where it's
up
like,
to you
I know
for
2 pieces of
indiscretion, but
information, but I
obviously
don't
I was
remember
old
they
enough to know
contradict.
better.
That happened a
Suffice to
lot
say, my
before
politics 6
COVID when I
months
would
ago
make
had more to do with
plans.
my personal relationships than my personal beliefs. I don't mean to suggest that there's anything wrong with the death with dignity people. It's just that I wasn't really with them, if you know what I mean. And honestly,
So
having
you're a
lived with
mole.
Mary like this for all this time.
So what the hell does that even, what is she
I
even trying to
can't
say?
I could make a
I was at the
decision like that.
protest. Was she counter-protesting?
Especially because
No,
even
she
though
was
can't
with
speak,
them. Like,
She just said she
I
wasn't.
know Mary wants to live. I know that very much in my
That's
heart.
why I'm like,
Ms.
what?
Barrett, could you tell us your whereabouts for the last 24 hours?
I live in Los Angeles. I come up here to visit with Mary once a week. I flew up here this morning.
at 4:30 in
By
the
that
goddamn
I know, can we see your
morning.
I'd
flight
imagine
record,
you'd also
ma'am?
like to know if anyone can verify what I'm saying, but I don't think anyone I know saw
Also,
me.
she usually uses
Oh,
the
wait.
private jet,
Hold
but
on.
for this
Actually, I
one
have this
time, she
excellent
used a
home
commercial
security
flight.
setup. Superior
But
security
that should
systems.
have proof
You
of
see
like
the way it
when
works?
she flew
You're either in
around.
the away setting with the motion detectors on, or the home setting with them off. They gave me an application for my cell phone that tracks when I'm home and when
Application, not
I'm away. I
app,
can send what I
boy.
recorded
That
for
shit
Times
was
have
new.
changed.
Yeah, that
And
shit
you'll
was
be able to
new.
see I was
No, look, when this came out, all right, remember, it was 2011.
Okay. Send us both records,
People
Ms.
did have
Barrett.
iPhones.
We'll
Yeah,
still
10 years
have to
ago, yeah.
authenticate them with your security
They were
company.
not
So I just
what
got the
they are
records to
now.
John Barrett's security system from Superior Security. Looks like they check out. According to the records, Ms. Barrett was at home last night at 11. You know, the Mars family is still a pretty powerful player in this state. And it's pretty much an open secret that John Barrett was set to inherit everything when Mary Mars died. Jane Barrett wasn't even going to get a little something for the effort.
Well, being left out of the will is a possible motive, but
But, I mean, still
what do
killing
you
her doesn't
think
get you the
about
money,
Jane
so what the hell does it
helping
matter?
Mary end
Right.
life, trying to give her death with dignity?
You know what death with dignity is? It means you don't drool. I think when you
I
have
mean,
a
I think
family
it's
with
more
a
than
lot of
that,
money to
Brass, but
fight
okay.
over, I don't trust any of them. But if Doc Robbins tells us the time of death clears Jane Barrett, then I'll move on to the next best suspect, family member or not.
Right, that's all
Vault
you can
Insurance
do.
Company was only too happy to provide us with their claim file on Mary
Please
Mars'
prove this was
accident.
bullshit.
Yeah, we don't want
Robbins
to cash
here.
out. Y'all for
Sorry if I
real.
slowed you down any, but I was finally able to determine your victim's time of death. You're looking at somewhere around 11 p.m. last
So
night.
she didn't
yeah.
do
Why
it.
don't you meet me in the morgue when you're ready? We can
In
go over
person.
the rest of the autopsy results.
Not to say she couldn't have like helped orchestrate
They
it.
trained the family dog to wear shoes, pick up the brass bust, and break the regular.
What
I'm
the
so
hell?
good at this. I'm so good at
Oh,
this.
this is the insurance claim from the car accident. So I was like, why the hell did I get shit from her car accident? Oh,
Brake
damn.
valve scoring. Hey, wait a minute. That means it was burned.
Like somebody fucked with it. I'm gonna go look at that evidence.
let's go to the morgue real quick.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, we're gonna get some more.
Give us more evidence, Robbins.
Thanks for waiting. Ms. Marst's previous injuries, which resulted in extensive hypertrophic scarring, made my job a lot more challenging than I'd expected. I'm sorry if I've slowed you down any.
No, you're fine. You're
Doc
okay.
Robbins, you're the only.
Murder, Grandpa.
Just because something walks like a duck and quacks like a duck doesn't mean we shouldn't assume it's a duck. The massive amounts of morphine found in the victim's system would lead one to expect death by overdose-related causes.
Oh, God, so
And I
how'd she
did
actually
determine
die?
Ms. Marst's cause of death to be
Oh,
asphyxia
wow,
due to
that's
morphine
rough.
intoxication. Because the extensive scar tissue in Ms. Marst's lungs was hypertrophic, it took a little while for me to distinguish the
Oh,
morphine
God,
as
she had
the root
burns in
cause
her
of the
lungs,
asphyxia,
too?
I guess
as
so.
opposed
That
to a
sucks.
more general catastrophic
Well, they didn't
failure
say she
of
didn't
the
talk much
respiratory
because her throat
system
got messed
due
up,
to
so-
her persistent
Weird.
She
condition.
must have been healed a
Is
bunch
it
of
just me,
smoking.
Doc, or did this autopsy take a little longer than usual?
Well,
He
Nick,
just
it's
said
been a
that.
while since
Nick,
I
are you-
examined
are you
the
still
body
on the
with such
uptake, bud?
severely
Are we-
He
burned
just said, I'm
tissues
sorry it
that
took me
are
longer.
a
What the-
contributing factor to COD. I estimate time of death to be somewhere around 11 p.m. last night. The problem I had with this one is, if you take a good look at the muscular atrophy, it presents like advanced rigor.
Oh, 'cause the
These
scar
pressure
tissue
ulcers
doesn't-
and skin abrasions
doesn't really function
also led to
anymore.
some initial confusion over the degree of livor mortis. And finally, once I got Ms. Marst's medical records and saw she'd stopped eating solid food about 3 months ago, I knew I couldn't use any partially digested food
Oh, wow.
to help set her time.
So she
of
really
death.
probably was on hospital.
Man,
She quit eating
you
solid
kidding when you
food.
said this one was challenging.
Yeah, but That's what keeps the spark alive in this job.
Wow, Jesus.
I love how
Good question.
non-emotive
I
he
have no answer
is.
for you.
I was about to say,
In
I
a
don't think he can
situation
answer
like
that
this,
if it was
where
voluntary
such
or
a high
not.
dose of morphine is involved, I look for signs of cadaveric spasm. Because when voluntary muscles are deprived of oxygen due to, say, strenuous activity, these muscles tend to seize up perimortem, and indications of
But
cadaveric
if she had all that
spasm,
scar tissue, it would have
let's say
done
in
that.
the hands or arms, would tend to suggest the victim was in the midst of a struggle around the time of death, and I looked for such indications. When I got the full tox report back, it seemed to me that the level of morphine in her system was so toxic, it probably caused her to slip very quickly into an unconscious state just prior to the total collapse of lungs.
That's rough.
So,
People do this
absent
shit to
any
people
indication of
Yeah.
cadaveric
in
spasm,
like real life.
included your victim's voluntary muscles were not engaged.
So
in
humanity
any such
was the
strenuous
monster all
activity
along.
perimortem.
Is that
The
where?
important point here
Is
is
that
that
where? Okay.
whether this was
We're on the same
a
page. We got
deliberate
this.
act of murder or an assisted suicide, Mary Marst's death was the result of a homicide.
Wait a minute, she couldn't struggle. So
Right.
it's kind of like,
No, it would have been impossible. Her medical records indicate Ms. Marst sustained multiple near-fatal injuries in a car crash. Apparently, she actually
Ooh.
burning fuel.
So not
which
smoke,
obviously
something much
severely
worse.
and permanently
oh
damaged
God,
her
no wonder she
vocal
couldn't
cords.
eat.
Sure, I collected them for you, as usual.
I'm not trying to be a
Anything I
ghoul
can do
here.
to
I'm
help
honestly
you,
surprised she has
take a
fingerprints.
closer look at the body yourself.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
kind of
almost
weird,
like-
actually,
As,
now
as
that you
bad as
say
the
that.
as bad as the
Shard
burning
of
is.
some
Well, she
kind
could only use
embedded
two of
in
her
the
fingers, so
Oh,
maybe
okay.
those were...
I left it for you to collect. Scar tissue here is extensive, as well as hypertrophic.
Anything?
He said I had to collect something, so oh. Oh, maybe the IV.
Mm.
That's the shard I told you about.
So there might not be anything else.
Probably not.
Damn. Well, girl, I'm gonna get you some justice, because this was fucked up. But also, when she retired from the company, it was like, so what, you were president for like...
A week?
Yeah, I was gonna say at least a few years. I don't remember how long they said her parents had died,
Right.
but that was at least a couple years ago. This looks
That's
like
not important
a
to the case.
fingernail. Maybe it's the nurse's fingernail. Did she have her nails painted? Oh shit! I didn't mean to go back here.
Again, we just drove here for 2 hours. Wait, why the fuck are we here? We're supposed to go down the hallway.
Damn, I'm sorry. We'll leave you to it. You just walk out.
We're listening to a true crime podcast because we're that kind of person. Just imagine like we're walking in, we have fast food bags and everything. Oh shit! Not again!
Looks like an
But the hospice nurse is
These
just
rolling
sitting there.
blackouts are terrible.
Combined into fibers of an ethyl methacrylate monomer and bonded with a similar but complex polymer of transparent thermoplastic. It's a tiny piece of a cosmetic fingernail. I wonder,
Yeah.
when was the last time Nurse Lou had her nails done?
So that feels a little racist. They're asking if the Asian lady had fake fingernails. I'm not saying it is, but in the year 2021, that
Well, yeah, but this was in the
Yeah.
year 2011.
yeah, 10 years ago, the halcyon days.
I'm going to take it as she is a professional woman who likes having her nails done. Now, as a nurse, though,
She shouldn't have fakes on.
right, because it encourages bacteria growth.
It sure does. My mother had to get rid of several people at her job as a nurse because they refused to take off their fake nails.
Can you imagine getting fired because you wouldn't take your fucking nails off?
That's a thumbnail.
What the hell is I supposed to do with this? Zoom in?
There we can see the blood. Shut up.
Ow! That did not come clean. Okay, so I don't have anything to reference it against at the
Okay.
moment. I don't think.
All right.